Bet on Bears fans, another edition of the Chicago Bears podcast coming your way. Pat the Designer, John Jurko here on a Friday. Jurko, I know you're in heaven right now. Golf everywhere.
Yeah, it's fun.
Golf
it's
everywhere.
Masters. We'll see who makes the weekend, and we'll see how guys start to play. Moving day is Saturday, but it's fun. I myself am playing golf tomorrow. The weather's going to be nice. Take the carts into the fairways, so that's a good thing for me.
Do you do a little Masters on the phone while playing golf, or do you just play and cut?
No. We'll be off the course probably by about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then we'll hammer it away.
Oh, I thought you said we're gonna get hammered. I was like,
we might get hammered too, but no, we'll play golf. We'll get it done.
Nothing wrong with a good Friday. We got a lot to get into on today's episode because Chicago Bears have been talked about as possibly trading up. Also, Caleb Williams making some interesting comments on Matt Eberflus. We'll talk about all that more in today's episode of the Chicago Bears podcast, which is brought to you by the Advantage Dealer Group. Find your next Chevy, Toyota, or Acura and drive off in under 60 minutes, or they'll make your first car payment free. It's also brought to you by the Hard Rock Casino in Northern Indiana, located 30 minutes from Soldier Field, I-80, 94, exit 6. And good kid, you want to tell us about Mitch Lyons?
Sure, absolutely. A buddy of mine that I played played professional football against at a couple different destinations where he is at. Mitch Lyons, wealth.com is the website you want to go to. Listen, the market is tumultuous. You've seen it in the last couple of weeks. And if you don't have, the gumption to go ahead and want to see it go up and down, up and down, up and down, and it causes your attitude up. Sometimes what you need is a good game plan for your retirement, a good game plan for your finances. Yep. And that's where you go to MitchLyonsWealth.com. Mitch knows what he's doing. And he's going to try to create income for you in your retirement. So trying to create wealth for you. That's what he's looking to do. So MitchLyonsWealth.com.
Protecting that nest egg. Mitch Lyons doing that for us. Interesting article on ESPN.com. Matt Miller put this out. Good kid. I shouldn't say he put it out. He was a part of an article that had a bunch of different beat reporters in there. But in his section of it, he talked about how the Chicago Bears, if they were to take Ashton Jeanty 10, which is kind of funny, they would be interested in getting back into possibly the first round by trading back in. And the position that they would be looking for is on the defensive line, that defensive tackle or defensive end position, with them prioritizing defensive tackle. Now, we can sit there, go through all the draft trade scenarios, blah, blah, blah. What I want to get from you today is, if you're Ryan Poles right now, does it make more sense to prioritize the interior pressure or to find that guy opposite Montez Sweat, even though you've added a ton of pieces here?
I still think the majority of your rush can come from the outside. Your most impactful rush comes from the outside. I understand that he wants pressure up the middle to try not to give somebody a chance to get away. This is the same guy that passed on Jalen Carter twice.
You know, we were just talking about that, and that's
tough. If you're going to pass on Jalen Carter twice, such an impact, a Super Bowl winner, and an impact player at the defensive line position, all of a sudden you're going to prioritize with it. And listen, Mason Graham, I think is a good player.
I love it.
I think he'll be an impact player. But after that, I think you have a little bit of a drop-off from an impact player to a guy who can make contributions. There's a difference between those two.
Yeah.
So I would have the preference of getting an outside pass rusher before I would be getting a defensive tackle. Secondly, in what is everyone considers to be a deep draft at running back, identify the running back that fits your scheme. And at that time, go ahead and get your running back. I don't think Jeanty's going to be there. You're not moving up for
agree.
Jeanty.
Yeah.
So if you tell me they moved up for Mason Graham, they must really feel good about Mason Graham. If you tell me they moved up for anybody else, I'd say they'd be making a mistake. And the tight end from Michigan looks as good, if not better, than the tight end from Penn State.
I like Matthew Colson.
So, and they can do more things with him offensively as a receiver.
Yeah.
Not do the gimmicky stuff where you put him at quarterback and you have him run.
The wildcat.
Not doing something where he's throwing the football. I'm talking about at the receiving position, tight end, when he's up. if you want to switch him over, if you want to flex him out 3-4 yards, if you want to play him outside as the furthest receiver away from the quarterback. It seems to me like he's more capable of doing that than the tight end from Penn State, Warren, whatever.
Yeah,
his
Tyler
name
Warren.
is. Yeah.
When you
So that's my thoughts there. I think they should trade back. If you're
Yeah.
not going to go up and get Mason Graham, trade back, and then you'll get yourself an extra draft choice, and then you might be able to address anything, everything, and all things.
Is it more? I guess the question for me would be, right, if you're trying to get that guy, if you identify that you've got a game record coming up the middle, is that more important than that outside edge rush?
No.
Because the pressure's in the quarterback's face?
No.
Okay.
I already told you. The guy that can impact the quarterback the most and put the most pressure on the quarterback it will always be an outside guy coming to make a guy uncomfortable in the pocket, and then everybody else has to clean him up.
Yeah.
Even the most disruptive guys in the middle still don't do as much as what an outside record can do, which is why the guys that have the most sacks are usually your
On the outside,
ends.
100%.
The guys that probably have the best pressure rates are the guys from the outside.
Right.
So
The
answer is simply statistically, over the course of 40 years since they've been keeping the stat, would dictate to you that the outside rusher is much more impactful than the inside rusher. Now, that doesn't mean you don't want to have the guys on the inside.
100%. It does seem like the league is kind of shifted a little bit to trying to get more of the pressure up the middle and trying to focus more on getting guys that can provide that, where, you get the Chris Joneses, of course, Aaron Donald, who was one of the greatest at it. But then even you talked about how Ryan Poles passed on Jalen Carter, and, that was a big priority for Philadelphia in that season. Like those, it's almost like it's because of how the young quarterbacks are in shotgun so much. That's how the league has tried to adjust it to getting the pressure.
Philadelphia couldn't believe how lucky they were.
The double trade back,
but they knew who they were playing with.
Yeah.
They knew who they were dealing with. So,
Could you imagine
is it because you screwed up then that you want to overcompensate now?
I would argue
that's
it's because you've got the guys in the building that know what they're doing now.
Yeah. Well,
when Ben Johnson shows up and Dennis Allen shows up and go, you didn't get who in the middle?
Ryan Poles is still there. So ultimately, the guys making the call and the players that are acquired are Ryan Poles. So as long as Ryan Poles is there making decisions on draft day, there's always going to be a question mark in the air with anything he does.
It is interesting. Like this draft, a lot of the positions we're talking about are the positions that we've let get past. I love Rome Odunze. We just had him on the show. We could have had Jared Verse, the defensive rookie of the year, coming off the edge last season. Year before, you could have had Jalen Carter rushing up the middle, added to Montez Sweat. If you don't go punty, punt, and draft the running back, then we're not talking about a running back now because he's an 1,100-yard rusher.
Well, you're talking again now. Now you're talking about the same guy. You're talking about Ryan Poles.
Yeah.
So, we're good. I'm going to Green Bay, and on Thursday night, I don't know what the hell's going to happen. I'll be crossing myself and doing a novena at one of the local Catholic churches up there.
Yeah.
Praying to the heavens that he doesn't find a way to screw it up.
Is there a Bears prayer?
That's all you're doing.
Is there a Bears prayer you got ready?
It'll be a prayer to wisdom. Just a prayer for wisdom. That's all.
So you're getting prepared.
Listen.
You're getting prepared for all of this.
There's a 50-50 shot that this guy screws it up. Flip of a coin. There's a 50-50 shot that this guy screws it up. I'm praying for the 50% that he doesn't screw it up.
I'm here with you, Jurko. I hope that he does in fact not screw it up.
Yeah.
The confidence level feels like it's a little lower than the 2.5 that you had last week in Ryan Poles.
No. Well, it would be a 2 out of a 4 then. But 2.5. But 2.5
it was out of 5 stars.
It was out of 5.
Yeah.
So there you go, 50-50. That's exactly where it belongs.
I think this draft is going to really be the make or break draft for a lot of teams in this.
Right, but you already know he can't identify talent on the offensive line.
Yeah.
We already know that. With the multitude of moves that he's made over the course of a lifetime. You also know he probably doesn't have any idea what the hell a wide receiver does. You know that because of the Claypool thing, because of the Velus Jones Jr. thing. You're hoping Rome Odunze bails him out of his incompetence at the receiver position. That's what you're hoping for. Going and getting a well-established DJ Moore, who's already doing it in the NFL, doesn't give you any credit or credence. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't.
So you don't give credit for what a lot of people would view as the layup. So the drafting Caleb Williams, number 1 overall.
Oh no! I mean, no! He'll be up for criticism if Caleb Williams, doesn't develop into the quarterback that you want to see, because Jaden Daniels has clearly outplayed him.
Yeah,
clearly outplayed him. You might argue the kid in Denver played well last year enough to tell yourself, "Hey, look at what he's doing." Yeah. So, but I'm still a believer in Caleb. I believe he's going to develop. I believe with Ben Johnson there, things will be a whole lot better for him. So
we'll see. I think what's going to be exciting here is you're going to be able to add to this team. Maybe they add some weapons for Caleb. Maybe they add some protection for Caleb. I'd love protection. I don't think you can ever have too many offensive linemen, Jurko.
Well, I'd wish it would be you can't have too many quality offensive linemen.
Well, that is true.
Because you come to camp with like 13, 14 offensive linemen. Oh, you can have too many offensive linemen. Too many crappy offensive linemen is the problem.
It's going to be tough to make this team, Jurko.
That's what I heard. The propaganda last year with Kevin Warren just running around pretending like he's in charge. Oh, my God. Hey, is this my best side? Can you move the camera? How's the lighting? Is it good? I mean, what are we doing? What are you guys running a football team? What is this? No. What are you going to do?
Hey, football fans, Verizon's giving you a chance to win the ultimate draft experience with the Road to the Draft Sweepstakes. 10 lucky winners will win tickets to the first day of the 2025 draft in Green Bay, including road trip car service from Milwaukee, hotel accommodations. Jurko, you jumping in this bus here, or are you driving yourself?
I'm doing bongs on the Magic bus.
Hey, now. Plus access to Verizon's viewing zone. Jurko's seeing a different party. Well, you'll be taken care of like a first-round pick. Hurry to select Chicago area Verizon locations to enter by April 13th. No purchase is necessary to enter. Must be a legal U.S. resident of Illinois, age 21 years or older to enter. Void where prohibited. For official rules and details, visit www.espnchicagocontest.com.
Could you imagine ripping bongs with Miss Frizzle on the Magic bus?
I think that's how it becomes the Magic School Bus. I'm not going to lie to you. Do you know a Miss Frizzle, Jurko?
No.
You didn't watch Magic School Bus with the kids growing up?
No, I watched the
down Main Street, feeling happy, looking cool.
Nope. Magic Door is what I watched.
Wait a minute.
In the morning. You don't remember the Magic Door?
I don't remember the Magic Door.
Oh, it was on early.
Who? Is there a different Magic Door?
No, it started Shalom. Yeah, it was a show that was on Channel 2. Early on Sunday mornings, Saturday or Sunday mornings, and it's come open the magic door with me. It's your imagination, and that's how it went.
Yeah.
And it was 70s to the early 80s, and then they shut it down.
Yeah.
Then I used to watch
like they're
Charles
walking
Corral.
into a mushroom. That's the Magic Door.
Doing shrooms.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good kid.
No, I mean that's what we were watching.
And that's coming.
You
said PBS? That's on PBS right
No,
there?
CBS.
Oh, CBS.
CBS. And then Charles Corral would come on with CBS Sunday Morning News right after that. This is CBS Morning News with Charles Corral. And it was fantastic. The other thing we used to watch is HR Puffin stuff.
I know HR Puffin stuff.
So HR Puffin stuff.
So you went from the Magic Door, which was a mushroom, to HR Puffin stuff.
Yeah, which had a hippo and a owl and live people, and it was just a frog. It was ridiculous.
Is there some?
Do you remember HR Puffin stuff, Eric?
I remember HR Puffin stuff. Is there some planning in the scheduling with that though? Because I feel like they're like, if you walk through this Magic Door, you will then see. A hippo and the owl and the dog.
I always thought they should have named it HR Stuff and Puff. So you stuff the blunt and then
that's
puff
the proper order.
Yeah,
right.
Stuff and Puff would have been better.
I don't recognize the name, but the images
you
kind of seared it. Yeah.
They were terrifying. But
and then the Blob.
The Blob?
The Giggle Snort Hotel. Then you'd watch the Blob with the Giggle Snort.
What was the movie channel back then? We had Sven Gulli when I was a kid.
No, it was HBO.
HBO, just right straight up HBO.
But it had nothing to do with that. It was a morning kids show. The Blob. This guy the Blob was a piece of
Oh,
clay.
I thought you were talking about the horror movie.
And then he'd form the piece of clay into a blob, and he'd be talking to him the whole time. He'd be, yeah. And that's how the Blob spoke. But he understood him. The guy that ran the Giggle Store Hotel. Yeah, he was the Blob. So good stuff.
That was elite prime television back then.
That was.
That was top of the line.
You got to tell me.
When does the Dick Van Dyke Show come?
I watched Speed Racer as a kid, Johnny Sacco and his Flying Robot, and Ultraman.
You want to know the wild part about Speed
Channel
Racer?
44.
Like, I grew up watching it, too, and it was the same Speed Racer from, like, the 70s.
Right.
And Speed kills a lot of people.
Well,
like he just drives people off the sides of mountains.
That's racing, because they're coming after him.
Is that what it is?
Rubbing is racing.
They're literally chasing Speed. And I was sitting there watching. I was like, I
mean,
watched 12 people die in this episode.
Yeah,
but 6 minutes in.
Right, a lot of crashes. Like they're driving on the side of mountains.
Yes.
Trying to come after him. It was like it was something acrobatic driving team. And they're on the side of a mountain trying to get after Speed. And of course, his brother Racer X. His brother who ran away years ago.
Find that out. Yeah, he disappeared.
Spritel, Chim Chim Pops. Great stuff.
That's Top Flight TV.
Yeah.
I was in on that. on that.
What was his sister's name? Trixie.
Trixie.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching that, just going like last year and being like, there's a lot of death in the show.
Oh yeah.
There's so many people who have driven off of a mountain because Speed literally was just like, oh no.
Well, I mean, that was part of it.
Left.
That circuit was part of it. That was a dangerous circuit that they were on. Kidding. They knew it.
You're not kidding.
They knew it. Trouble could be around the corner. Adventures waiting just ahead. Go Speed Racer. Go Speed Racer.
It's been the theme song.
Adventures waiting just ahead.
That's what we got coming up here with Ryan Poles in the draft.
Yeah, you got
Adventures
that right.
waiting just ahead.
All right, what'd Caleb say?
Caleb was talking about the Hail Mary play and essentially just speaking on how the team was feeling emotionally after that and how the team felt about how Matt Eberflus handled it. And basically, the viewpoint was that's kind of how it reads. That's kind of where the divide came. Basically, Flus was so adamant about doubling down that I would do that again. That was the right play call. That's kind of where the confidence in the team was lost. And went home, said it's one of those losses you're furious about, shed a tear into my pillow. You know what I mean? And I'm sure people are going to be online going crazy over that. But just that moment in the season was where the season essentially ended. And I would say this, Jurko, that's kind of how it played out the rest of the time. But that those losses, that losing streak he went on, is going to be beneficial for him in the long run.
Well, here's what I'll tell you. When the shit hits the fan,
mm-hmm.
Two things happen. Two things could possibly happen. You come closer together as a team, you circle the wagons, you take it on water, you start bailing, you try to fix what's wrong, or you man the lifeboats and you start getting off. The problem with this team is they started to get off.
100%.
And a lot of those guys are still there. So tell me what that is going to do for me. How much confidence do I have in the integrity of this football team moving forward? When this team chose not to stay on board, not to bail water, not to keep the thing afloat, they chose to get off.
But see, I think by the end of the season, you're right. But I think
after
that game and
not at the end of the season, right then and there.
Well, the reason I say that is the Bears were still in a ton of games that they should have been able to win.
Mm-hmm.
If not for, you're saying they're on the life.
And then what?
Eberflus is coming through with the gun and basically shooting a hole in the life rod.
Sorry. No. They can blame the coach. Your problem with this team is they live in a house with no mirrors. They can't assess the proper play. That's the problem with this team. This team that you have that we hope that would be better. They live in a house with no mirrors. This team has got a character problem. And until they fix themselves, it's going to become difficult to fix the whole thing. That's your problem with this team.
Yeah.
This team has got a problem with their own moral fiber and their own character.
And their own accountability.
Because they chose to jump ship as opposed to fight to gather it all back together. They're only 4-3 at that point.
Yes.
Okay. So it's the players on this team. And a lot of those players are still here. And a lot of those players love pointing fingers. That's what they love to do. They love to point the fingers. That's the problem with this team.
I think that plays a part into it, but I do think that to say that Flus, I mean, the team was in 3 games after that, outside of that Cardinals game where they just got absolutely eviscerated, where you should have been able to win that game if.
But the point is,
timeout.
Right. But the point, blame the coach again. Okay, that's interesting. This team looked for ways to lose. And it happens subconsciously. You don't even realize you're doing it. But it's the very intestinal fortitude that you have in your body is the instinct to keep fighting, to keep scratching, to find a way to stay alive, or is it self-preservation?
Yeah.
And get me the hell out of here. I'm going to find a way to survive. That's your problem with this team. I'm giving it to you.
Yeah.
I gave you the key, the passcode, the cheat code. I've given it to you. You can either accept it or you can not accept it. And until they change what they are, what they became, till they change that way of thinking, the results will be somewhat similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does bringing Ben Johnson and changing the accountability
You hope.
help with that?
You hope.
Yeah.
You hope. I mean, I'm not saying it's irreparable.
Right.
It's not irreparable, but you got to get guys thinking a different way, a different direction. The way they were thinking last year was no good. You want to blame the coach, I think you're wasting your time.
Were you ever on a team like that where it had to be
No.
Somebody had to come in and change something?
I was on a team. See, this team was supposed to be talented last year,
Yes.
right? I was on a team that was dearth of talent. And that was the problem.
Yeah.
We didn't have a
You
ton
looked
of
around and you were
talent.
just like, we can't compete in this.
Well, you look around and say, well, we're going to compete, but at the end of the day, we're going to find a way to lose because we don't have the quality. You got to have a certain quality, and we didn't have the quality. Last year, the Bears tried to convince the world that they're of a certain quality.
Tough to make this team.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Tough to make this.
But I'm telling you, when that gets fixed, and Ben Johnson's greatest challenge
It's changing the mindset.
is to change that mindset that's already ingrained into this team because it's easy, and I'm not going to say quit, but it's easy to bail out and try to say, well, it's not my fault.
Right.
That's the easiest way to go.
Right.
It's not my fault. Obviously, I'm a great player, and it's not my fault. You got to change that mindset.
We did see that with a lot of how players were talking at the end of last season. I remember the shocking part was, right, I think probably the most shocking one was Cole Kmet when he was just like, listen, you speak and nobody listens. I'm done speaking. And it was like, okay, well, that's not really what you want to hear from a leader of your team. And I think that Cole Kmet can be a leader, but that wasn't a leader moment right there. As a leader, you're never done speaking, whether people are listening or not.
2 captains.
That's
2
all
captains.
you need?
That's it. 2 captains. One on offense, one on defense. That's all you need. Guys, most of those guys most of the guys, you don't need to be led. You just need somebody to talk to the officials.
Yeah.
So who are the guys that have to talk to the officials? Those are your captains. And after that, you go out and you play. Meetings. The Blackhawks just had a meeting. How'd that go?
The players only meeting?
4 games left. Players only meeting. What are we doing?
We got to go out fighting hard.
I think Ozzie Guillen.
The fans are watching your. Oh, they can't see us. Never mind.
Ozzie Guillen said it best. He says meetings are for losers.
Yeah.
So when you're winning games, nobody's having a meeting. Everybody's going out. They're going to the restaurant. They're enjoying themselves. They're having a good time. Meetings are for losers.
I've only seen one players meeting work. The Cubs in the World Series. And it was like, we're about to do this right now.
It's a different type of meeting.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a different type of meeting altogether.
It's the only meeting where you hear about it that I've ever seen work. Mm-hmm. Like, where it's like, all right, we got to get it together, boys. Oh, you mean we need to
in a tie
score?
Game? In a tie
you know what I mean?
Like, right? Was it a tie game?
Was
it 6-6?
Yes, it was tied.
It was
6-6. It was
right
after
the homer out to left field.
And LeBron's losing his mind.
That careened.
Yeah.
That careened off the camera. I was standing in left field. It was raining, so I was underneath it.
Oh, you could see it.
I was right down so if the foul line's running this way, I was perpendicular to the foul pole.
Right.
And I sat there and I watched it hit the camera while I go, you gotta be blanking me. Are they gonna find a way to blank this up?
Did you get a look at LeBron losing his mind up there? You didn't see
no
him?
TVs in front of us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But no, that was
So
that's the only meeting I've ever seen work, Jurko.
There's your problem with this team. And hopefully Ben Johnson and the rest of the coaching staff can snap them out of it and get things going in the right direction.
Yeah, that's the hope this season. I think that there is going to be a lot more accountability in the building this year and a lot more
it's fixable. That's my point, though. It's fixable. But if we're going to talk about last year and what the problem was, let's just hit the nail on the head right there.
Not the coaches. The players got to be better, basically.
Well, listen, you make an individual decision at that point when things are going tough on who you are and what you want to be.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there was too many guys that decided
hit the life raft.
And it's a lot of water. Pushing the women and children out of the way so they can get comfortable.
No, the women didn't make the life raft.
No, the women and children were sacrificed.
The women are drowning, Jurko.
Get me off this bear ship right now. I don't want a part of it.
Hey, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in to the show. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. For the good kid, John Jurko, just your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Somebody save the women. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago.
And the children.
Save the children, too. Peace.